Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Funi. These are my opinions and no one else's. Our parents are human too. When we were young, we looked up to our parents, be it biological or not. We saw our parents as heroes. A hero is someone that you can model yourself after, a person you look up to and strive to be like. A hero is someone who sets a good example for you and someone with a set of good morals and values. It then makes it easier for us to face whatever obstacle that we might face in life, knowing that our heroes will always have our backs. As a kid, you can never fault your parent. You look up to them and then try to live your life according to how they could have in a similar situation. The problem then comes when the hero is not doing any heroic things. Imagine seeing your mother and father as your heroes and then the team separates because of separation or divorce. Parental separation is often seen as a cause or contributing factor to depression and aggressive problem behavior in children as well as later in life. When your team of heroes decide to separate, you are now left with a dilemma of which direction to go or which hero to choose or go with. Naturally, you will choose to blame one hero for ruining the team and sympathize with the other. And obviously, if nothing is done, then the child grows up to become a bitter adult, carrying over all those emotions that built up because of the hero's failures. Now, the challenge comes when you are an adult and you are struggling to become who you are destined to be because you are still dwelling on the times your parents were your heroes. You keep on trying to mimic how your parents were and nothing seems to come right. And you keep turning a blind eye because in your eyes, your parents are your heroes. Your parents decide to separate and one of them gains custody of you, the child. You will gravitate towards the parent you are staying with, empathizing with them, feeling sorry for them, seeing they are being there physically as them loving you. Regardless of what they do to you, you will always overlook it and move on from it because all that matters is that they are there. Physical presence is very powerful. You develop some sort of hatred towards the absent parent or hero without understanding what transpired for the situation to become the way it is. Today, I'm not going to talk about how you were abandoned or what your heroes did to make you proud or disappoint you. I'm going to talk about your current feelings as an adult child and how you should try and work around them. I want to talk to the 30-year-olds and above. But if you are younger and can relate, it is still fine. At least you still have enough time to understand that your parent is still human. You are in your mid-30s and above, and all we hear from you is how it is rough out there, mjolo wanyesa, debt review, you are renting a back room with your children, you are unemployed, you are a single parent, you couldn't follow your dreams because you had a child and somehow had to change your priorities. You are at the age that you are in right now and you are experiencing one or more of the things that I just mentioned. Now, let us slow down a little bit and go back to your heroes, your parents. I need you to reevaluate how you perceive your parents now that you are also a parent. Look at how they raised you and search for similarities on how you are raising your child or your children. Whether consciously or not, you will have that one or two qualities that you sponged from your so-called hero. Now, the problem with heroes or superheroes is that they are meant to be flawless and powerful. Cartoon characters or Abu Superman and Xena. Some of you should really remember Xena. Your parent is just human. A lot of adults are very angry at their parents for whatever reason there might be. You ask yourself, Jorge, how can your mother do that? How can your father do that? If you are going through what you are going through right now and you cannot seem to see a way out, what makes you think that your parent did not go through more or less the same fate? How do you then expect your parent to have dealt with issues more effectively in their time, but you cannot do that for yourself right now? I have noticed that the very same thing that you might hate your parent for is exactly what you are doing to your child. For example, you are extremely angry at your mother because she left you with your father and you go around telling people how bad your mother is and you will never do that to your child. But you are forgetting the time you decided that you were angry at your baby daddy and you dumped your child with the grandparents just to hurt him. Or you have a child but they stay with their grandparents. Same script, different cast. You are so hell-bent on making sure your parent knows how disappointed you are turning a blind eye on the fact that you are allowing history to repeat itself. You need to start looking at your parent as a human being, just like you and I, going through all the mental health and life issues, just like you and I. Try and look at the situation through a microscopic lens. Try and understand that there is an underlying issue for every action that one does. The only way to succeed in that is to open a clear and free communication channel between yourself and your parent. To our parents, please try and be open and honest about your struggles so we can find it easy to forgive and move on. Your secrecy is not helping at all. It is a bigger contributor to our poor mental health. Anyway, every mistake, every obstacle, everything that you go through, your parents are also prone to go through them as well. You need to understand that it was harder for our parents because of the times they grew up in. There was no social media where you can easily find solutions on how to deal with issues. They were not as open and free to talk to their parents, and that is how they were raised or taught. So for your parent to be able to navigate those times with similar or worse situations to yours would be impossible or would require a miracle. If we try to delve into our parents' past and for them to also feel free to tell us the truth about their lives without fear of us judging, we might be able to divert from what I grew up believing in, that children will be punished for their father's sins. Deuteronomy 5 verse 9. I may not interpret the book according to how you are taught, but like I said at the beginning of the video, these are my opinions. I do not believe that it meant that you will literally be punished for what your parent did. Where does it leave some of us who will never have children? Who's going to be punished on my behalf? Nah, I'm a sinner, Pele. Going back to the Bible verse. How I interpreted the book is that it means that as children, we sponge on whatever our parents do consciously or subconsciously. How a parent carries themselves around the children will determine the kind of adult one will grow up to become. It just means that if there is no intervention, your child will repeat the same mistakes and inheriting the same results, hence being punished by their parents' sins or for their parents' sins. Now, no one is responsible to take on anyone's punishment. Therefore, to break that generational circle, you have to evaluate the situation between you and your parent from a parent's point of view, now that you are also a parent. Help your parent deal with their trauma while you work on your trauma as well, in order to give your child a better chance at changing the narrative or breaking the generational curse. You need to be able to ask yourself what that person would have done in a situation you do not know how to solve, and if it is fair for you to expect them to be able to solve the problem. Life is a continuous lesson, so we are constantly evolving and finding ourselves, your parents included. Like Maya Angelou said, I did then what I knew how to do. Now that I know better, I do better. Give your parent a chance to try and rectify what they did with the resources and support they had at that time. Give them a chance to do better. Stop holding on to things you cannot change or amend. Focus on what you can do better to build a better mental health for yourself and your child. Your mother and father are human too. Thank you once again for watching till the end. Do not forget to subscribe if you haven't. Hit the like button, turn on notifications, and share.